Welcome everybody. This is a new webinar on the Network of Resources webinar series. We are here today to talk about EOxHub with Stefan Michel and Tina Dolezalova, who will guide us through the EOX services that they are providing through the Network of Resources initiative. That Network of Resources initiative is an ESA initiative aiming to bring user to data. That means that we provide a series of services through different providers, and you can access them through the Network of Resources portal. We will see these at the end of this session, and we will guide you through the sponsorship procedure that is in place to access these resources. This is, as I was saying, a part of a webinar series that we are delivering every Friday since this summer to explain what are the different services that are available through the Network of Resources. So without taking more time on the introduction, I will pass the floor now to Stefan, who will introduce the services provided by EOX. So please, Stefan, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much, Federico. Thanks for having us. Well, also thank you to all the participants for joining. So looking at the numbers, it seems there's really some interest to learn more about what we can offer, which is great. So what are we going to present today? Well, we give a high-level introduction to the EDC EOxHub workspaces offering. But first, who are we? So there is my colleague Tina, of course. She's a data scientist at EOX, and she will be giving the online demonstrations. And then there is myself, Stefan. I'm a co-founder and meanwhile the CEO of EOX. So well, we founded EOX more than 15 years ago, and with the clear mission to bring the EO data closer to users by trying to bridge the gaps between the big EO data archives and the user platforms. And well, the EDC EOxHub workspaces, this is one of the offers that we have in order to bring the data closer to the users. So well, with this, I turn it over to Tina for some live online demonstrations.
Thank you, Stefan. So I should all see my screen already, where I'm showing the landing page of a EuroDataCube, which is one of the workspaces Stefan was just mentioning. So EuroDataCube.com is hosting all the information I will be talking about today. So if something is not clear, you can visit the website and explore it by yourself. But let's start it with the actual demonstration. What are the capabilities and what you can do with the EuroDataCube? EuroDataCube is combining three main services. So it is a data access, processing capabilities, and option to collaborate and sell your data or algorithms. And during today's webinar, I will be showing you all of these capabilities in more detail. If you would like to learn already more, you can just click on the read more, which will redirect you to our documentation, but we will again talk about it more in detail in a second. We also have here links to the YouTube videos which are connected to getting started with the EuroDataCube and working with EOxHub workspaces, which in some way show similar features which I will be showing today. So if you want to watch it afterwards in your own space and pace, you can just click on those links. On the below section, we also have the latest news and events, which is connecting mentions and events where EOX and presentation of a EuroDataCube were held. So actually, this is not the last event where we were presenting the EuroDataCube, but you can read more about it, for example, from a workshop at FOSS4G. Also, the Twitter is not so much active. If you scroll down, we have here a whole section about how to get the ESA sponsoring, and as Federico was mentioning, EuroDataCube is part of a network of resources. And even though Federico will be showing later how you can access the resources through the Network of Resources portal, just by simple clicking here, you can already just get access to documentation on our side. And actually, if you don't want to go through a network of resources portal, you can follow the link embedded here, which would lead you to a dedicated page, which is just a network of resources page, and you can apply through it. So I will just log in to show you the interface for this. And you can just really complete your application through this simple interface to continue. But going back to the main page and following to the most important part, and that's the partners. You can read who are our partners and who you can find their data as a data providers, and which services you can find on the platform. So if you want to learn more about the special partners, you can just go through the embedded links. Now let's talk about the special and separate features of the Eurodata Cube by going to a marketplace. The marketplace is a central location where you can search for all the data products, applications, and API services Eurodata Cube is offering, and we will now show you the most commonly used ones. So one of the things users commonly want when they are searching for Eurodata Cube is access to the data. On the marketplace, you can already use the search function by the type, so you can search for the data product, or you can search by text if you already know what you are searching for. I will be just clicking here on the public open data, which you can see that the price tag is free. On some other features, you can see that this is a pay-per-use, or there are some subscription with some starting price. So talking more about the public open data, you can find here the general site with all the general descriptions. So for example, what it is, so it means that you can access data by clicking on this link, or you can continue on exploring the actual collections. But to even more easily access the collections, you can visit the collections.eurodatacube.com website, where you can see in more clear form what data actually are available here. We have some text by which you can filter. You can, for example, search by a tag agriculture to see what we have as a label data for agriculture. Or if you are searching for something specific, you can just paste it into this search box. So for example, I will start searching for some truck data set, and I'm here interested in the motorway. So I can find it that it is a part of a race challenges, it is a raster data coming from a Sentinel hub, and there as open data. So together with the descriptions, I can get some additional information like a temporal availability, what band are available, who is the provider, and who is managing the data. By clicking on the Explore button, I will be led to EDC browser, and by accepting the conditions, I will be redirected directly to a data set, and I can visually explore if the data are what I'm looking for. I can also use some filtering in available parameters, so in this case, only the time. I can also use the tag to select more race challenges and to start looking into data sets available for this specific tag, or I can just search which data are provided through a Sentinel hub or in the raster form, as I said previously. Going back to the actual marketplace, the open data or public open data are not the only data you can get. So we also have insights on demand, which I will be showing at the later part of the webinar. When you can also explore the EOX Cloudless, which is a product by EOX, or data available through Danube Data Cube or any other provider. Additionally to data, we have some platform services. The main one is the EOxHub workspace, which I will be talking a lot in a couple of minutes. But we also have the Xcube viewer or Climate Lab ready workspace. You can also again see here the minimum prices and this as a beta product. Complementary to the workspace, as a user you can use some API services as well. So in this case we have a Sentinel Hub API and also a GeoDB subscription. Sentinel Hub is an awesome service for accessing the raster data, and GeoDB for accessing the vector data or storing your own data to GeoDB's subscription database. I will be showing how to access these services more in detail when I will be talking about the EOxHub workspace. But by clicking on getting more detail, in the pricing tab you can compare different subscription models and also the information about the free trial and the limits of it. So you can also activate the service directly here, which would lead you to login website afterwards. Additionally to API services and the platform services, there is apps section, where we have different apps which you can additionally use in the EDC workspace. So one of them is, for example, EO4Alps Snow browser, where you can browse a product by developers from EO4Alps project. You can also explore the EDC browser, which I was already showing with the tracks dataset. For example, there is a request builder from Synergize and many more. All these apps are possible to explore from a login when you are actually logged in as a user of the Eurodata Cube. Another tab we have here on a complete stop is the notebooks section. Notebook section is allowing users to browse through available notebooks. Many of them are labeled as getting started, and you can actually read comments and likes from other people before actually using them. So here is a comment just saying all clear. So the comment is actually working, and also you can like and see that people are using these notebooks. The notebooks are curated, so they are provided by our consortium partners or by users who are showcasing the usage of some specific features. The getting started notebooks are covering first steps with the EDC and accessing of the various APIs, so for example a GeoDB here or a Sentinel Hub datasets using Xcube. The browser will lead you to your actual EDC browser, where you can find and explore the datasets visually, but I will not talk much about this. Another important options you can do on the Eurodata Cube website is the documentation. Documentation hopefully covers all the burning questions you might have, and the content is separated into multiple sections. So first is a user section. So this is a section where you should be able to find answers to questions, how to actually use the analysis-ready data, how to bring your own data, how the data on demand are working. The second section is focusing on the contribute. So if you would like to contribute your notebook to our notebook marketplace, or if you would like to share your app as another app available to other users. The third section is focusing on the sell options. So for example, if you would like to sell your data or bring another algorithm available as an on-demand data generation, we call it a bring your own algorithm, which is then interface for data on demand if people would like to, on the other side, use user algorithm to get data. We also have here a quite large section about with a step-by-step guide, so how to create a user account, how you can order a service, or for example, how you can get custom environments inside a workspace, or even how to go around the NOR sponsoring. If something is still not clear in the documentation, we have here a support option with frequently asked questions and additional resources, and most importantly also email address on which you can reach us and ask any questions you might be interested in. But I think now it's time to actually start with the live showing what the EDC and EOxHub can actually do. I will, if you would like to follow these steps, you can directly open the website and do similar things as I do. But if you would like to register and log in, there is this human button which you need to click, and I'm already registered, but you as a user will be redirected to a registration page where you need to supply us with a couple of information, and after me or Stefan receiving your registration email, we can approve the access to workspaces or additional free trial services. After registration, the UI slightly changes. So main part of my workspace now is a dashboard with list of available services. Your dashboard will look much more empty because I already have some services prepared, so I can actually show it to you. But importantly, on the left side, you can see that the whole top menu previously seen is just here, so you can still access it. If you are logged in and go to the marketplace again, you can select the platforms you would like to use, so in this case, EOxHub Workspace, and activate your free trial subscription or a paid tier if you are interested in more options and you already know that you would like to use your data cube. I already have it activated, so I have here just a blue button with the change plan, but as a not activated user, you would have there the option to activate your platform. So I will go back to the dashboard, and I can see here that I have here my workspace, which is my EOxHub workspace. I will navigate myself to this, and you will be again asked to log in again. I'm logged in, so everything is working more fast for me. And you will be redirected to the EOxHub dashboard or the page with more information. So there is the status of your account. So it's showing that my status account is active and I was verified. As I said, we are manually approving all the requests for the free trials, so it can take a couple of hours or even days in the worst case before you get to see the green ticks next to the status. Important information on this side are the workspace usages. Here you can see that we are tracking your file storage, so I'm currently using 12 megabytes out of 5 gigabytes I have available. I can also see the history of this usage. There is a memory traffic, so currently I'm using 314 megabytes out of 4 gigabytes available, and the CPU is completely idle. I can also track here a network traffic, so current usage is 27 megabytes out of 100 gigabytes available. I can see in the history that I slightly used it in the last hours. Among the deployed apps, I have a Jupyter Lab, which we will be using in a second. But before we do, there are also account settings where you can change, for example, your password or request account data if you would like to have a better control over your account. Now it's time to actually enter the Jupyter Hub, which will welcome me with the server options screen. Here we have various profiles and options to actually select what kind of resources you would like to use. For this account, I have only promotional plan with the limited resources as I was just showing previously. So I have 4 gigabytes of memory and 1 CPU to use. And also my account is valid until end of this year. If you, for example, have higher resources or you require more resources for your project, or you need access to GPU or for some machine learning training or some additional settings, your user can have multiple profiles, and you can select every time you are starting to work which profile for which projects you would like to use. They are still all connected to your username, so they are sharing the data inside, but let's see how it actually looks like. So after selecting the profile I'm interested in, my workspace will start with that settings. This should take a couple of seconds, and I should be redirected directly to a Jupyter lab. This is a standard Jupyter lab interface. So for those who are not familiar with what I'm talking about, we have here a section for a file browser, and we also have here a big launcher section. There are many options hidden inside under those tabs at the bottom, but I will not be talking about them today in detail. In the launcher section, you can directly start an empty notebook with a pre-selected kernel. You can also start a console, Python console with a pre-selected kernel, or you can see the applications available to your profile. Since this is a promotional account, I have here only a catalog, but for example, if you have access to some machine learning tooling, you would have here more application types. So let's enter the catalog, and you can see that this is the same notebook catalog as I was previously showing on a EuroDataCube landing page, and I will just show you how we can actually use it. So again, the notebooks are having a getting started tag, and I will be choosing one of them for now. Going slightly back to my dashboard, you can also see that I have my API subscriptions valid. So I have my GeoDB subscription free trial and Sentinel Hub free trial subscription, again also valid until end of the year. That means that I can use the sample notebooks to show you how these services are working. To activate them, you can do the same thing from the marketplace section and just click on activate the free trial subscription. So for example, I will choose here the Sentinel Hub datasets using Xcube, and I can see here a completely rendered notebook. It is a Python notebook with the output being displayed below. So if this is not enough and I would like to actually try it myself, I can click on the execute button. Before to do so, I can also like the notebook, meaning other people will see that some people are using it, and I can also comment. So I can write here, I really like this notebook. After submitting it, it will appear for review from to our team, and it will be then visible and to everyone. So after clicking on the execute, I can change the name of the notebook I'm interested in, and by clicking on the OK, the notebook will be copied to my actual workspace and opened. I will now just make the screen slightly bigger, so hopefully everyone can see what is written here. As I was previously briefly mentioning the kernels, in the EuroDataCube we have a set of predefined pre-curated kernels which are available to all the EDC users. That's why the name is users EDC. They are differentiated by the date, so the most latest one is from the 1st of October, and it is compatible with all the notebooks we are showing here. We also have a curated G notebook, which stands for a GPU library, so if you are working on a project requiring TensorFlow or PyTorch, these kernels are available to you with the compatible versions of software with the GPU. Since this is a basic notebook, I will be selecting just a plain EDC kernel, and after selecting it, I can actually run the cells with a Shift and Enter and go quickly through it. So to show you that the content is working, and I can actually visualize the cube data in this sense. I will not be going into the details of what this code is doing because I hope it is actually well documented and self-explanatory. But if something is not working for you or something is not clear, you can contact the authors of this notebook directly or through the support option on the EDC. I will for now discard the changes and go back to the launcher. Now when it's bigger, it's harder to see. But we have here still one section of options what you as a user can actually do. One of them is working with the terminal, where similar to your normal working desktop, you can use commands you're used to. So EDC terminal is based on a Linux, so we can use a Linux-based commands to, for example, see what is inside your directory. You can also list here the environments or the kernels we have available and activate them with the conda activate and the environment. After that, you can use also the .py files, so Python scripts, and run them from the command line if you prefer comparing to Jupyter notebooks. In the terminal, you can also manipulate your files and move them to some other locations if you need to, or delete the whole folders. Here comes a big warning that only the home location or the user workspace is persistent, so everything installed somewhere else or files moved to another locations might not be preserved unless they are stored in the user actual workspace. That being said, user has a limit of resources available to them. So on the previous dashboard, you can see the file storage limits. So I'm currently using 12 megabytes out of 5 gigabytes. So as a promotional plan user, you have 5 gigabytes available to you to store any data you prefer. If this storage size is not enough, we support bringing your own data in the form, for example, of a S3 bucket, which we can connect to your workspace, or EOX can support the S3 bucket for you. You can also connect to any other storage programmatically, or our team can hopefully support in doing so. As I was saying, if you would like to contribute the notebook to the actual notebook repository, we have a documentation page about how to do so. On the documentation page, inside the contribute section, you can click on share your ideas via EDC Marketplace Notebook, and there are some very specific guidelines what notebooks must do, what notebooks should do, and in which format we will actually request it. If you read through this information, your notebook can be also seen as in the notebook catalog. You can also, to finish the explaining of what other options we have here, so you can also write here a normal text file, meaning, for example, your .py file, or you can use a Markdown file, Python file, and other options. But what I would still like to show here is the VS Code. So if you are not a big fan of the notebooks, you can use the VS Code option here to open a VS Code editor in the browser, and while connected to your EDC or EOxHub workspace, use the resources from there to write Python code. That's more or less all I would like to show you about the workspace, but before we move to another section, I would like to also show you the possibility to version your code. So in the workspace we have a Git extension which you can actually connect to your GitHub or GitLab and initiate the repository or clone it and directly work with the other people inside of your workspace. You can then connect your Git repository with the file browser and see all the changes here as a tree of changes and easily track what is being done by the others. We also have here option to track a GPU if you have a GPU added to your profile, you can track here the usage, which is very helpful for a scientist to keep in track what actual usage of the GPU is currently used. Perfect. So going back to the Your Data Cube and the logged in page, we can go back to the marketplace. On the marketplace, I was just briefly mentioning the insights on demand or data on demand, and let's explore this section more in detail. Insights on demand is a counterpart to Bring Your Own Algorithm, where Bring Your Own Algorithm is a part where you as a algorithm provider can onboard the algorithm to your data cube and make it available to the others. And then the other people can come to the marketplace and actually buy the results of your algorithm. So as you can see, we have here a couple of algorithms available. So we have here, for example, field delineation or a track detection, which is related to the tracks I was showing before. But today I will show you the size algorithm because it is rather fast to show you. To actually use this service, you need to purchase the credits, which can be also purchased through the marketplace, and then they will be connected to your account. So after I have selected the algorithm I'm interested in, I can just use the button Run Algorithm, and it will redirect me to EDC browser, but connected to my user and to the algorithm. So I can select here the algorithm size because that's the one I'm interested in. I would be interested, for example, in the 6th of January. Here are a couple of fields I need to provide some information about. So in this case, the resolution, and I have here a hint that it needs to be between 300 and 1200 meters. So I will go with the lowest resolution. And the most importantly, I'm interested in AOI. So I will draw it as a rectangle, and I will draw it around the northern part of Norway and Finland and Sweden. So after confirming the AOI, I can click on the purchase button, which would lead me to a checkout wizard. Here I can again verify that I'm really sure with my selected parameters, and I would like to continue. So I can see that my values are the correct date, the resolution I've selected, and the polygon as an AOI. After I'm really happy with my selection and clicking on the continue button, the cost estimate will trigger. This can take a couple of up to minutes, and you will be notified when the estimate is actually ready for you. For that, we also have this bell icon on the right corner where you can see the notifications of newly available notification. So, for example, when your data are ready. So, in the meantime, I can go back to the dashboard and go to my dashboard and show you the results of the previous run. So you can see that I have here insights on demand as a data product, and I have 70 credits available. And if I would need more, I can just buy it through this checkout wizard, and we also have here the pricing and more information. If you would like more information about the algorithm, you can go to this page and read not only more about the attributes and the parameters of it, but also about the provider and about the pricing, what is being currently calculated based on the area I have checked out. So in the meantime, the cost estimation finished. So the estimated algorithm run cost 10 credits, and I have still the 70 credits available. Now the important thing is to choose your delivery method. So you can connect your AWS S3 bucket with the name and optionally register it directly on the Sentinel Hub if it's the raster data. You can connect it to your EOxHub workspace or EOxHub Manage Object Storage. So again, if the output is a raster, you can register it on the Sentinel Hub optionally. If you have active GeoDB subscription and your data output will be in the vector form, you can store it in the GeoDB. And another option, and the one I will choose for now, is a one-time download, meaning that after my algorithm is ready, I will receive notification and option to actually download the data. So after clicking continue, I will be led to a last step, which is a confirmation. It will again tell me that my algorithm will cost me 10 credits, and I will be notified when my results are available because it might take some time. After clicking that I have read and understood the terms and conditions, I confirm and run. Run has started, but I will not bore you to wait until this is actually finished, and I will lead you to a dashboard where I have another app which is called Bring Your Own Algorithm Results, which I can access on this site, and I can see here the status of my algorithm. So this is the one we just triggered together, and you can see that the execution is pending, but I have already here the run from previously when I was preparing, and that's execution successful and result upload successful. So I can download here the data previously created. So all the files this algorithm produced, in this case many TIFF files, or I can download them as a single one. They are not deleted, so you can also find here the previous data produced for you. If you are not sure, and it is, for example, a couple of days since you have triggered the algorithm run here, you can revisit the parameters which were used for this algorithm creation. Okay, I think I have covered all I wanted for today. I'm just now checking my notes if there is something more I should cover. But I actually think that this is it, and I would ask Stefan if he would like to add something, and if not, I think I will hand it over to Federico for questions, if there are any, and introduction to a network of resources.
Thank you, Tina. I don't know if Stefan, you want to add anything. In the meantime, I remind you all that if you have questions, you can write them in the chat, and we will read them and address them. So please, Stefan, if you have anything to add. Otherwise, we go through the network of resources sponsorship process.
Thank you very much, Tina, for the demonstration. I'm waiting for questions, but meanwhile, please go ahead with the network of resources.
Okay, perfect. So I will share my screen. And if you can see it, we are now in the NOR Discover portal, which you can reach by going to the website nor-discover.org, and it will bring you to the homepage of the Network of Resources Initiative. Here you already have some useful information if you want to know more about NOR. For instance, by going down, you have the number of approved projects up to now, the number of providers onboarded, and other useful informations. You can also navigate through the portal by going to the home, to the menu button, and you have other useful information, like on the news page. There are news related to new providers onboarded or to the webinar series and so on. And by going to the portfolio, you can actually access all the different services provided to the NOR. So you need to navigate down to the page and click on the Access It Here button. It will redirect you to the NOR portfolio, where you have all the different services. And if you want to look for a service, you can use the text search, or you can navigate through the service types and to sources, geographical coverage, and so on, or you can just scroll down here to see all the different possibilities that are available through the network of resources. Let's say we want to access EOxHub. So under each provider and service, we have a list of details related to the specific provider and services, a list of collections available through this service, and a useful link to the help desk of the provider, which advise you to contact every time you want to request something from the network of resources, because it's really important that you are requesting resources that are really helpful for your project. And then you have the pricing wizard, which is used to create the form to submit to the network of resources. By going here, you will be redirected to a form, and you need to first select which project type you are working on. We have 4 different project types: commercial, research, pre-commercial, and educational. And we want to remind you that only research, pre-commercial, and educational projects are eligible for ESA funding. So if you're working on a commercial project, you need to purchase the services directly from the provider. In any case, let's say we are working on a research project, we select research, and here we have a list of all the different services provided by the provider, in this case EOX. We can then select a service by clicking on a tick box, and under units and duration we can change the type of units that we are requesting. For instance, if we request more than 1 subscription for more than 1 month, and so on. And by going down, we have at the end an overview of the total cost we are requesting. Then there are 2 different options. The first one is to purchase directly these services from the provider by going to the provider website. Otherwise, if we want to ask for ESA sponsorship, we can go to the right menu and saying if we are working or not on an ESA project. Which is the difference? An ESA project needs to have an ESA technical officer assigned to it and an official ESA contract number. So if you're working on your research project, personal research project, you need to select no. And here you can say or no to if you want to co-fund the cost. For instance, we are requesting 219 euros of resources. Maybe we want to request only 100 euros of resources and we want to co-fund the rest. Here we can select this option. Let's say we will not co-fund the cost in this case, and then we can click on Ask ESA for sponsorship. This will redirect us to the form itself that we need to fill out in all the parts to be able to submit it to the NOR team at ESA. We need to start with the project title, the full name of the project coordinator, the work category of the project coordinator, an official email address. It is really important that it is the organization email address. We cannot accept personal email addresses like Gmail or other email addresses that are not institutional. The project organization name, country, web page, and address. Then it starts the part where you need to describe your project and what you are going to do with the resources by starting from the project objectives. So what are the final goal of your project? And the implementation methodology that you need to use to reach these goals, the expected results, and this is really important, the justification for selected service and provider. This is why we always advise you to contact first the provider help desk to be able to really justify why you are going to request a specific service for your project, because then we need to understand what kind of work you are going to do within the cloud environment. As I was saying at the beginning of this session, the Network of Resources initiative is an initiative aiming to bring user to data. So what we want to see is that you are actually using the resources to work within the cloud environment and not just to access data, because in that case there are other ESA initiatives that aim to allow people to access data. Then we have the geographical area of interest of the project, and finally, the last things that we need to select is if it's the first time or not that you have applied for the NOR sponsorship. If it's not the first time, you will need to state the previous ID that you requested, and a final list of the resources that you requested to the NOR portal. Then the last thing that you need to state is the set of slides when you're going to submit it. The set of slides is a set of PowerPoint slide or PowerPoint-like slide in like format of 4 or 5 slides, where we need to see how you use the resources. It's not important if you achieved or not the goals of your project. What we want to see is how you use the resources you requested through the network of resources. You can sign up or not for the NOR newsletter. You must accept the ESA privacy policy, and then you need to export sponsoring request. It will create a PDF. You need to download the PDF, sign it, and email it to the nor-sponsorship-request@esa.int. We cannot process forms that are not signed. And if it's an ESA project, we need also the signature of the ESA technical officer. This is more or less everything related to the sponsorship process. I see that Stefan has something to say, so I give the floor back to him.
Thank you very much. Just two comments I wanted to make to this NOR sponsoring. Yesterday, while preparing for today, I realized that we also have a GPU offering, so this is currently missing, so I hope that it will soon be added. But if you need GPU, you can select the XL plan and just add that it should be in fact GPU for now. And the second thing I wanted to mention is to highlight that we now have, since not too long, integrated plans, meaning that you can, with one sponsoring request, get all the services from your DataCube. So the integrated plans, you get the EOxHub workspace, the ZLab subscription, and the GDB subscription. That's my 2 comments. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stefan, for this update. We will soon update also the NOR portal with these other services that EOX is providing. So I see that there are no questions in the chat. If there are no questions, I think we can wrap up, and I will thanks again Stefan and Tina for your presentation and for presenting EDC and the EOxHub to all the participants. We remind you that this webinar will be available through YouTube in a NOR playlist. Thank you very much, Stefan and Tina.
Thank you.
Thank
Happy
you.
holidays.
Happy holidays.
Bye-bye. Happy holidays.
Bye.